Okay, today's Friday, March 7th. This week I learned something called fatigue, mental fatigue. I bought a Funding Pips challenge and I went like full steam. I made one good trade that turned out to be it gave me approximately about 6%. Now, working off of that, I moved it up to 7.5%. Because this is phase one, I needed 8%. And then I realized that I was working with a funding traders, funding pips, and Maven trading. I was like in and out of these prop challenges. And then as the days progressed and the hours progressed, I realized that I suddenly was subjected to a loss. And I kept looking at the loss on the funding pips, and it started to decline because I was in a large size. And as it started to decline, I'm looking at myself. I'm asking myself, why are you not getting out? And I had my hand on my mouse, and I'm saying, why can you not click on it so that you can exit the trade? As it started to drop and drop and drop. And then at the end of it, I closed it out. And then I made the following trade with a bigger size, and then it went the other direction. By the way, it's a UJ. And then it started to breach. And I thought to myself, hey, why did that happen? Why? So apparently what happens is that, and I've been thinking about this, and this is something that's been plaguing me for many, many years. And I equate this to muscle. The brain and the muscle have there's a common component. That common component is called fatigue. And so apparently, so I don't know how these people who run marathons and ultra marathons, where they run like 100 miles without being recharged. So I'm not sure how they do that. So it seems to me their body is able to recharge while they're actively consuming energy. So they somehow, these individuals who are running ultra marathons, who runs like 100 miles just running 100 miles from beginning to the end. So that means that they have to eat something, and when they're eating something, that whatever they're eating is directly converted over to recharge the body, so they can run for 100 miles. So what I've noticed about, now they're exceptional people. What I've noticed about myself is that what I've noticed about is that if I exercise my body for a while, I get really tired, and my body needs time and nourishment in order to recharge. And so what I've noticed about the brain is that it works in a very similar manner, but it is noticeable within a single session, as well as opposed to like working out, lifting barbells and getting tired like reps, doing some reps, that I get tired of it. So what I've noticed is that my brain becomes fatigued, and it does not want to continue trading. The subconscious does not want to continue trading because the mind is tired. It does not have the energy in order to make the proper decisions. And what that causes is the account to be breached because the mind just shuts down. Once a certain fatigue is achieved, it's the fatigue of the mind. And when that happens, I could be $50 away from an $800 or 8% profit target and just go south and then just continue. And That's what happened. That's something that I need to be aware of. In the past, all throughout my life, I really didn't realize what that really meant. But now I do. I do understand what that means. It means that if my brain is fatigued, I need to somehow fix that. Either by taking a break, recharging, and then going back to it. But I can't keep continuing it because the mind is fatigued and it cannot make the right decisions at that moment. It seems so simple. It's like, I suppose it's like when I'm like intensely using my brain to solve a calculus problem, where a single drop of ink bubble is flying through a electromagnetic force, and it's trying to move in a certain direction, and I have to calculate the path of it in a homework assignment. So I could like dissect it and work on it for like hours and hours and hours. There would be an escalation of bell curve of intense mind usage, and then afterwards it slowly decreases, and my mind cannot. My mind just turns into mush after a certain point. It's a fatigue of the mind, and this is something that I was not aware of. Now this is something that I'm being aware of now. I see that now. As I was washing dishes, I mean, I'm like working 6 hours every night, 6 days a week, and then I'm attempting to trade right after I come back without even sleeping, and the intensity of working on a particular area with incredible amount of intensity wears down the mind and the body. And then when I'm done with washing dishes and cooking, then I come back and I attempt to study, but quickly whatever nourishment I have has been depleted with the onset of the need to sleep. So those couple factors are impacting the way that I'm trading. And I have been doing this for 4 to 5 years, and now I'm finally beginning to understand. Even in a state of pristine thought, it's difficult for me to consistently make money from the market. Now I see what I need to do, so that I have a slight edge versus the old me, okay? But I still have that edge, and hopefully I'm there, but I can see that now. All that complication of working 6 days a night, okay, 6 nights a week, intensely working 2 to 3 different types of areas at the same time, and the ankle and the muscles are being tired, and then the mind is deciphering between the interactions between the coworkers as well as addressing the need to support the customer by cooking in the best manner possible, from one item to another item, quickly shifting from one customer. It places a great deal of wear and tear and fatigue on the mind and the body. Add to that, when I come back, it's like late at night, and I'm trying to trade towards the morning open in the New York session, and by the time that occurs, the sleep has slowly crept in, and getting very tired, and those complications created all these losses. But I didn't realize that. I didn't realize something that seems to be such a trivial thing could have such a tremendous impact on the trading. But it does. It makes a tremendous amount of, because if my mind is slightly less, has a less IQ at a certain point, the fluctuations in the IQ is going to cause me to lose the account. That's what happened. So today, this week is a prime example of what I've endured for the past many years. And one prime example was I was at $750. All I needed was $50. But at that time, my mind was in fatigue. And I should have stopped right there. I should have stopped, because there is this thing called mind fatigue. mental fatigue. And then if I keep doing that, then my decision making process wears down, and I start to make mistakes, and that mistakes become like a domino effect, and then cause my account to be, even though the current balance is like 2% above, but because it has breached 5% per day, it's already lost. And so I'm now aware of something called a mind fatigue, mental fatigue. Okay, it's a mental fatigue, and it will take all the money that you have. Okay, all the money that I had. So what I need to do is when my mind is fatigued, I just need to be conscious of that and stop, because continuing on is just going to aggravate things and make it worse. It requires a serious amount of luck after that point, because the decision-making process has shut down. So I'm now aware of something called a mental fatigue in trading.